It's pretty noisy here, so I'll be on mute. I think we're live.
I know. Hi, Ricky.
Yes, hi Angela, and hi everyone. Good afternoon to everyone who's watching with us right now. And welcome to Limbag Kamay, the first ever online art fair dedicated to hand-pulled prints here in the Philippines. We are so proud to welcome all of you today because we have 76 great printmakers from all over the country joining us in this one-week art fair. And we have a lot in store for you. We have a lot of guest artists and guest speakers and a whole week of talks and lectures that Angela will be talking about later. But first of all, please let me introduce myself. My name is Ricky Francisco. I'm the director of Fundación Senso, and we're here in partnership with the Association of Pinoy Printmakers, or AP, and of course, Cartelino.com, and various institutions like the Cultural Center of the Philippines, the Ayala Museum, and so many other institutions who are all here to support printmaking, the traditional printmaking. And Fundación Senso partnered with all of them for Limbag Kamay because we believe that printmaking is one of the most underrated art forms that deserves critical attention at this time. Unlike painting, which is a solitary activity, printmaking involves a lot of people usually, and it is at this time that we should all pull together. Bayanihan tayo. So printmaking is a great art form for this time. I'd like to introduce my partner for this afternoon, Miss Angela Silva. Angela, please tell them about yourself.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Limbag Kamay. So excited, nervous, and hoping that everybody will find something that they can enjoy. So, to introduce myself, I'm a self-taught printmaker, and I retired from the US. Very, very lonely here in Negros because there's no printmaking community. So I started to reach out and met more printmakers. And so with Ricky, I just wanted to get into a printmaking community. And we got so many printmakers to join us for this first ever online print fair. I hope you'll find something to enjoy. Thanks, Ricky.
Thanks, Angela. Oh, by the way, I'd like to give them some background info on Limbag Kamay. We planned this a year ago with Angela Silva and several other printmakers, knowing that there's a skew in the market for paintings, and we'd like to give critical attention, as I said, to printmaking, which has rooted here for about more than 50 years already, and it has brought so much to our culture and to our art scene. And this whole week, you will be discovering more of it. So, Angela, please tell us about the guests who are coming.
Okay, I have to unmute myself. I'm getting so excited. We've got four major printmakers and artists joining us. And the first one is master printmaker and board member of the AP, the Association of Pinoy Printmakers, and that is Virgilio Pandy Aviado. So welcome, Pandy. Then we have the Association of Pinoy Printmakers president, and that is Benjamin Benji Dorado Cabrera. Hi, Benji. Like a printmaker, he needs to turn around. So I'll be going into more detail with each printmaker. Then let me start with the next guest, okay, is the AP, Association of Pinoy Printmakers Vice President, Angelo Magno. There. Hi, Angelo. And last but not least, we have a master artist and newbie printmaker, Elmer Borlongan. Hi, Elmer.
Hi, Angela. Hi, everyone.
Good, good. I'd like to go a bit into detail about each one of our guests. So if we can go back a couple of slides to Pandy's slide. I'd like to say something that Pandy is our grand master in chess terms, our grand master of printmaking, who continues to encourage and support us close to 60 years, Pandy, as a printmaker, educator, curator, and multidisciplinary artist. He studied printmaking in the 60s with a grant from the Rockefeller Foundation. Wow, there's so much to say about Pandy, and you can find it all in this comprehensive book that was a solo show at the Ayala Museum called Graven Images in 2014. Otherwise, go ahead and Google him. Our next printmaker is Benji Cabrera. Next slide. There. Benji T. Cabrera, the president of the Association of Pinoy Printmakers, we fondly call AP. So, Benji is a master engraver using dry point. He studied engraving in Paris, France under a scholarship. He's multi-awarded and with many exhibitions under his printmaking tools instead of belt. At St. Scholastica College, he teaches drawing, painting, and printmaker, and he's been teaching for over 20 years. Thank you, Benji. Good to see you. Our next guest is Angelo Magno. Oh, Angelo, hi. Vice President of the AP with a background in creative writing, theater, painting, and of course, printmaking. So Angelo is a graduate Master of Fine Arts from UP, and he has been a faculty member of several schools in Manila. Hi, Angelo, Jello. Thanks for joining us. Then the last one is, I don't even know where to begin, and that would be Elmer Borlongan, master painter and drawer, and newbie, as I said, to printmaking, self-taught during the pandemic, and a new friend, also a very big supporter of printmaking now. So I hope to hear more from him when we have a panel later on this week. So let's start this discussion or this group meeting, this conversation with one important question. The question I have, what you see now on the screen, this is a fundraiser for an affordable etching press. So let's go on to the first question. Is everybody ready? Not a trick question. The print fair is new, first time ever, and all you guests are educators and experienced printmakers. While Elmer Borlongan, renowned artist, is self-taught. The print fair has submissions from 76 printmakers, and almost half of them are beginners or they haven't exhibited before. There's a growing interest in this medium based on my pandemic observations and conversations with many people, including Elmer. So here's my question to the group. What is the importance of this print fair to printmakers throughout the country where printmaking has not been at the forefront of the art market and the community of artists, viewers, collectors, and galleries for several decades? Pandy, I know you've got a great story, and I hope you can tell us in a short, brief synopsis because it's very compelling. So I'd like to start with Pandy. What do you think, Pandy? What's the importance of this fair for printmakers everywhere?
I've written something, and I like to share it with you. For collectors, whether budding or seasoned, art fairs and expositions for fine prints are a sort of Disneyland of opportunities. After all, contemporary art fairs exist for them, and collectors are the king of the art fair castle. From a great number of multiple artworks on display to please the eye to educational programs, and collectors, art lovers will find themselves in a perfect environment to buy and learn with the like minded crowd. For aspiring collectors and first time buyers, art fairs for fine prints provide a platform to train the eye and figure out what kind of art moves them and what leaves them indifferent. Industry insiders across the board advise emerging collectors to attend art fairs for educational purposes. First time goers will be wise to grab a kind of a plan and go through the each prints, systematically jotting down what captivates them, and attend any corollary events organized by the art fair, meaning workshops, demos, whatever. In addition, and perhaps one of the main reasons art fairs like this are so beneficial to budding art collectors, first time buyers are able to see dozens of fine prints in one spot, which presents a wonderful opportunity to start a relationship and ask questions. Attending printmakers are very approachable and are more than happy to answer questions about their work. Now, for seasoned collectors, attending art fairs like this has become a lifestyle. Besides buying fine prints, collectors come to socialize, quote unquote, rub shoulders with other art lovers, and know more about the methods of fine printmaking. The best way to get your work, and this is for artists, into as many hands as possible, and in quotation, make more money back from paying for the participation, is by having prints of your most popular works available at a lower accessible prices. Prints can either be open edition or limited edition. This will inform the price point and is up to you as an artist to decide. Both open and limited editions are widely accepted in art markets, especially for emerging artists. In these art fairs, they don't just exhibit great works of fine prints, but amplify relevant social issues. In previous years, in our open fairs, art fairs, some of the topics presented were heritage, conservation, cultural diversity, environmental concerns, diaspora, religion, EGKs, and corruption. Given the limited time, the number of works to see, it is important to note that there may be no complete absorption of the work in art fairs. To address this matter, our organizers also host events and talks to help educate the public and contextualize the artworks. Artists and gallerists are also present and willing to talk to anyone interested about their intention and process. Usually, there is also the traditional, you know, walking the tour virtually done by art professionals. But because of this pandemic, it is now just more of a virtual tour. Attendance, however, is not the be all and end all of art fairs like this. Theorist Raymond Williams highlights the need for cultural analysis, where we should try to understand what the works are saying about the lived experience and how it affects us. For him, it is necessary for us to learn how to read these signs, or what he calls structure of feeling, because they are records that a particular cultural wishes to express, a particular culture wishes to express. Limbag Kamay Contemporary Art Fair begins the week-long exhibition, presentations for printmakers and art lovers. And so that's it. Thank you very much.
Wow, that was so awesome. I'm sorry, I'm
Thank you.
overreacting, huh? I'm just so excited with your great words of encouragement, Pandy, because you bring such a history to the medium that we need that continuity, but we also need all the support for the future because who knows what the future will hold. So thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, I better not freeze. The next person I'm going to pick. How is Benji? Benji Torada, are you able to join us?
Actually, Sir Benji is having a little difficulties,
Hmm.
Angela. So, we'll just wait for him to get back uh,
Good.
onto
That's
the
okay.
system. So maybe we can move forward with our other speakers.
Great. Thank you, Anton. That's Anton Villaruel, also a printmaker with AP and in exhibiting in the print fair. So let's go on. I'll pick Angelo. Hi, Angelo. You're next.
Hi, Angela.
Do you want me to
Good
repeat
afternoon.
the question? Are you okay?
No, yeah, it's okay. Thank you, Angela. Thank you for the question. Now, I'd like to share my insights as part of AP, as part of the organization. There's a lot of realizations from this fair for the organization. Like, for example, it's a very good opportunity to create networks of printmakers in the different regions, especially now during the pandemic. Second, with all of the featured works from the printmakers, it's also a good way of sharing best practices of new techniques, innovations, experimentations with printmaking, and we can see it with all of the works being featured in this fair. It's also good for discovering new potential members of AP, as we can see a lot of new names, new and old printmakers, and we'd like to get in touch again with them. We'd like to reconnect with these printmakers, and we'd like to thank you, Angela, for gathering them. We also realize that we can also maximize the use of social media as a platform to further develop engagements about printmaking. Especially now, our movement is quite limited, and we can create connections, no, not just in Manila but also in the different regions. You do not have to be in Manila to create a wonderful engagement among printmakers, and you already proved that, no, with this fair, and would like to thank Angela, Fundación Sanso, and Cartelino for this initiative. Please expect our invitation for membership very, very soon. Sir Emong, Angela, we would love to have more engagements with you, and hopefully we can do more projects soon for AP and for the different regions. So thank you. On behalf of AP, I would like to thank you for organizing and having the initiative to do this project with us.
I am so thankful also, so honored that a 50-year-old institution, organization, community of printmakers is so alive and supportive of more members coming in. It's new techniques that maybe we could go through together and check out, share it, trials and resources. There's so many things that I learned too when I moved here. So it's so good that AP had welcomed me 4 years ago so warmly. And now to hear that it'll be ongoing memberships and community, I think that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much, Angelo.
Thank you,
Angelo.
Angela.
And the last one, well, not last if Benji can come back and join us. So, Elmer, how about you? You have shared with me so much about your observations. How about with the rest of all the viewers out there, the printmakers?
Yeah, maganda itong ano mangyayaring print fair. I consider it as a major, a big event, no? Kasi there's no such thing as that happened before, no? So parang feeling ko parang ano to it's a protracted activity. Parang dahil maraming mga print shows, no, mga exhibits, tapos mga prints that are being sold online and some exhibitions. So magandang opportunity to for all the printmakers, no? So for the next 7 days, we will be able to see a gathering of printmakers with diverse approaches in printmaking, no? And magpapasalamat din ako dahil I'm included into this afternoon's talk kasi ang mga kasama ko, mga masters talaga. Si Sir Pandy, si Anton Villaruel, si Angelo Magno, mga idols and very great printmakers. And don't consider myself as a major player. So tama yung description ni Angela na I'm a newbie, no? Because I only started going back to printmaking during the pandemic. And in my case, as a self-taught printmaker, I learned to make prints by watching, no? Natutunan kong mag-dry point on CD by watching Sir Pandy's YouTube video. So I think this is a good opportunity, no, for other printmakers to do such thing, no, to present process video para marami din tayong matutunan, no, and hopefully we can with this print fair we can inspire everyone, no, to try their hand in printmaking and encourage collectors to collect fine prints. And Limbag Kamay Contemporary Print Fair, no, is a very good idea, no, because even if it's online, no, the good thing about this is it's free, no? There's no entrance fee. There's no trouble of lining up, no, with long lines during compared to the past art fair, no. Ito you're in the comfort of your room, no, you're just watching in your computer, and then you will, hopefully, no, kahit ako, I'm excited, no, it's anticipated because no, I want to learn more. So yun, kaya this is really a good opportunity for the Philippine art scene.
Thank you, Elmer. I don't know where to begin because I don't want to give away too much. But later this week there will be a talk with Elmer. I'll go into that in a short while. But I wanted to thank you, Elmer, for that kind of encouragement also for those of us who are going self-taught, trying to figure it out, and then to connect with the professional and pro printmakers, maybe online through workshops, through Zoom. That would be awesome. Maybe, and I'm throwing it out there, one of the senior printmakers could adopt a beginner printmaker and develop, some kind of module or something that would be shared. Because think about it, Pandy, Jello, sorry, and Benji, as teachers, you could help develop that bar, that standard of printmaking that we can all aspire to. So I hope you'll help us with that. So we will move on because we'd like
Yes.
to present and thank one of our institutional friends, the Cultural Center of the Philippines. And I'd like Angelo to say something about that new venture and project with CCP.
Okay, so I'd like to present 20 over 30. It's a portfolio that was produced last 2020 as part of the 50th anniversary of the CCP. The artist featured is in one way or the other been part of the association and has been selected by CCP because of their significant contribution in practicing the medium as a printmaker and as an educator of the medium. So the proceeds from the sale of the portfolio will go to the fundraising program of the CCP and the AP, the Association of Printmakers. Um, the second commemorative folio with AP, the first folio entitled 25 at 45 was the first produced folio in 2014 to celebrate CCP's 45th anniversary. So hopefully we're going to do this every 5 years. AP has been closely working with the CCP Visual Arts and Museum Division under the Production and Exhibition Department for more than 20 years. So what we can see on the videos are the basic instructions of each process in printmaking. Featured are selected artists doing their works for the folio. So here we can see Sir Neil doing his relief, the late Neil Doloricon doing his relief prints, his iconic rubber cuts and wood cuts, rubber cuts.
So we're going to see some videos that we are lining up right now. They will be process videos showing some of the printmaking processes that were done for this 20 over 30 portfolio. Wow. That was awesome for relief printing. I know we'll have two more videos coming up, but I saw that too with all the submissions and in print fair right now that's running at cartolino.com. Relief printing is way more established, very much more established right now in the Philippines, in the printmaking community. And I think it's because of its accessibility with materials that we've been able to find reasonable, affordable substitutions for all the kind of expensive and imported supplies that have to come in from abroad. So it's a very strong relief community, especially when they know how to draw so well, and the lines are translated very well into carvings. So thank you. That was lovely to watch. What's next? What's next, Angelo?
The next video would be on intaglio. So
My favorite.
these are etchings. Yes.
Wow.
There you go.
Uh, quick note that now we're going to get into acid etching. That was non-acid. With dry
Yes.
point, it's actually making the marks directly on the plate. And that's also another masterful use of the ability to draw, because you're using the, the tool, the scratchy tool, to actually make the lines. So that was very, very good to see it up close. It's I think it's a newer intaglio method maybe that is able to be used by many more printmakers who are just new to printmaking, because there's also a
Yes.
lot of dry point prints in this print fair. So thank you.
Yes.
What's next? Go
So for
ahead.
the next one, so it's going to be intaglio, but this time it's going to be the acid-based intaglio.
Mm.
There you
Oh,
go.
hi. Oh,
So
hi. Oh,
yeah,
hi.
I'd also like to take note. No, we have one practitioner of a very unique kind of method. Sir Benji practices dry point engraving. He uses a different tool, so his incisions in his sheets, acrylic sheets, are deeper, and yeah, the lines are sharper. So it's quite different. So when you see his works, they're very precise. The strokes are very precise, and it looks it looks quite fluid. But when you do it, it's really quite complicated, and it's only Sir Benji who can do that here in the Philippines with his dry point engravings.
Wow.
Wow.
If I can comment just quickly, this is classic printmaking that I have read about and learned, acid etching. And I know Pandy can talk more about that. That you can also see the people helping each other in the studio. It's a very community way of making prints together with the press inside a studio, and everybody's helping each other. That's always been to me the attraction of printmaking in a studio setting with a community of printmakers. So that was so lovely to see, and something that I could miss very much because we can't do it with a pandemic. But I hope that we will be able to do that soon, through AP and through the funding of this prototype etching press that I hope we can distribute an etching press in every studio on every island.
Yeah.
So,
So Angela, actually, ang ganda na pinoint out mo yung observation kanina na ang daming mga relief um, practitioners. Kasi I think isang factor na dahil yun nga ganun kadami yung nagre-relief is because of the lack of available etching presses around the country. So, having that said, gusto ko sana i-highlight yung initiative ng Limbag Kamay project, which is for us to look for fabricators who will produce for us etching presses that later on um, will be handed over to AP, and then AP will then um, point out or siguro will nominate art groups or artists around the region or different regions around the country para i-donate yung mga etching presses. So for now, we're trying to build small tabletop etching presses pa lang. Pero in the future, ayun, I hope, ayun, makakapag-produce na tayo ng, ng mas malalaki. Tapos, ayun, mas makakapag-cater siya sa mga, more serious artists or artists who want to invest more into their practice. Um, in a way, in a bigger scale, mas lalong sigurong mabibuild yung art practice of printmaking around the country sa tulong ng initiative na to.
Yes. Thank you, Anton, for that thought that these etching presses will take printmaking to the next level, because then you can do more processes. And
Yes.
with being able to learn relief and intaglio, you can even start combining
Yeah.
processes. So that adds a richness to the
Yeah.
prints, the
So hindi
layering.
lang hindi na lang relief na rubber cut and wood cut. Pwede na sila kapag meron silang etching press, makakapaggawa na sila ng colograph, makakagawa na sila ng dry point, ng mga etchings, and
Mhm.
a lot more.
Exactly, exactly. So you'll see some printmakers in the fair able to do it, but I'd hope that in the future we have more group discussions about alternative presses. And I'd like to give you a teaser that that has been addressed in a couple of panels later on this week. Alternative presses. So hold that thought. Don't forget, you don't have to wait for an etching press, which we would like to see maybe before the end of the year. No, Anton,
Yeah.
let's try that. These prototype etching presses will first have to be tested, and that'll be tested by the AP printmakers because they're the only ones who know what a good quality etching press should do. So that is going to be asking, AP to come back and take a look at these presses. But meanwhile, until that happens, there's a bunch of us printmakers that are able to have some printmaking fun by trying other things. Okay? So Elmer, I hope later we'll share some of that fun. What we have left is the final video. Is that right, Angelo? And it is on serigraphy. Serigraphy
Serigraphy.
is
Yes.
stencil, screen print. And here in the Philippines, it's all over our t-shirts.
Yes.
So take it away, Angelo.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of people call it silk screen printing, and in printmaking we call it serigraphy. So here, please play the video. Yeah, there you
That was
go.
That was so good. No longer just t-shirts, huh? We're going to have it on paper. We're going to have it on wood. We can have it on metal. I mean, serigraphy is actually a very versatile medium, and it also can be the multi-process printmaking. A background and then a relief print or intaglio print. There's several examples in print fair from it's under the hybrid category and serigraphy also, where we're starting to look at some of those attempts. And, very interesting print. So I hope to see more personally, but I also want to do more. somebody give me a workshop. I'm there. So
Yes, I
thank you.
guess that's, yes, thank you, Angela. I think that's also one of the good things about this fair. We can see a lot of new innovations and explorations with the techniques in printmaking, like mixing serigraphy with, for example, rubber cut, and mixing one process with the other and seeing new results. And hopefully, we can see more of this with future collaborations with printmakers among the regions. So
Any comments, Pandy, Elmer, about what you
Um,
just
i-
saw?
yeah, we in terms of the relief printing, yung rubber cut, wood cut, um, kasi para din siyang ano, it can also function na parang serigraphy kasi you can also use it for functional purposes. Kasi yung rubber cut can also be printed in shirts, in tote bags or in fabric or in canvas.
Yeah.
So here no, yung possibilities nga ng printmaking, we are not just limited to paper, no? You can practically print on anything. And then I would also thank the organizers, even yung AP, for this initiative to make our own locally fabricated etching press. Kasi for me, nung bumalik din ako ng printmaking, that was also my problem. No, I had problems looking for a decent etching press. At saka isa pa, having an etching press, it's not just for artistic or aesthetic reasons. It's also for physical reasons. Kasi, well, if you don't have an etching press, you can
it's easy.
hand burn it. yeah, yeah, yeah. Nagde-demo na si Sir ng ano, turning the wheel, no? Eh, kasi ano siya, kung hand burnishing, you can use the wooden spoon or different kinds of baren. Pero, well, kasi ako talagang napagod na yung braso ko eh. But even for young printmakers, siguro at the most, you can hand burnish 5 to up to 10 editions. Pero ano talaga to? Printmaking is an endurance test. Talagang hangga't kaya ng ano mo ng katawan mo to print, no? Uh, but if you have even a tabletop etching press, no, to make mini prints, you can at least make 25 to 50 editions. So, yun, that's the good thing about it, no? At saka isa pa, we won't be having any problems with shipping from abroad, no? Kasi pag dumating yan, grabe yung kung may makukwento sa inyo yung mga yung mga problems in the customs.
Customs.
Nako,
Agree po ako, sir.
don't
Actually,
don't go there.
sobrang
Bakit wala si Ambi? Where's Ambi? Does
ano,
anybody know where Ambi
she's
is?
she's preparing for a show, so
I see.
medyo she's also busy now.
I
Parang
see.
po,
Because she's also very good in explaining yung mga woodcuts, and
Yeah,
then
Mm,
woodcuts becoming serigraphs, and
yes.
then printing on other materials.
yeah,
Parang
that's
kulang
right.
kung wala siya.
Oo. Actually, pag ano din, sir, pag dumami na rin yung mga etching presses natin, it will propel more exploration, experimentation, na really is, a lot of the spirit of what printmaking is.
Yes,
Experimentation.
yes.
And may I, Pandy, watch out! Don't forget, Ambi's going to join us in a panel at the
Okay,
end of
okay,
Print Fair, and
okay.
she's going to be moderating expanded printmaking part 2. So
Okay,
I'll describe it
okay,
shortly.
okay.
So I
Uh,
think just wanted to note that the Cartolina site is back up. It's been bombarded, inundated, went
Mm.
down. The I guess the rush to look at the fair was very, very strong. But now it's up and running. So everyone, as soon as we end in a short while, I hope you'll check it out. So what I'd like to do next then is just quickly go through all the presentations we've scheduled through the year,
Okay.
through the week.
The week.
Um, and I have to go through my notes because there's so many. Next slide, no? Let's do that. What we did when we developed the panel presentations was that it was going to be presented in a sequence, a certain sequence. It's designed to answer as many questions as could be anticipated by the printmakers, questions by collectors and galleries, even by the general public, on what it is about printmaking that has value to within the art culture, not just the market, okay? It's the art making, it's the art appreciation, and it's also part of our own culture. So, what I'd like to do then is go quickly through each panel. We are building from the general to the specific with every panel every day. So, tomorrow, Tuesday, we begin with Patrick Flores. And Patrick Flores is the leading curator, art historian, instructor, educator for the Philippines, both locally and in the international circuit. So his talk tomorrow, he's going to place printmaking through the various Filipino art movements all the way up to the contemporary modern period. So that is a very big general overview from a very scholarly presentation. On Wednesday, we are going to have a round table among the institutions. And that would be first, the care and conservation of works on paper with Fundación Sanso and the leading conservator, Ortigas Library. In the afternoon, after that, we will have an appreciation of print collections at Fundación Sanso, at the CCP, and at the Ayala Museum. Thursday, we have a studio visit with Elmer Borlongan, known for his iconic painting styles, is now a big printmaking fan. So I will be holding a studio visit with him, and he's going to take us through how he learned to do it all, self-taught. So after that, next day, Friday, I am visiting and having a conversation with the Philippine Women's University and with Dean Josephine Turalba. It's part of my survey of the printmaking community in action, and for me, they represent education, a very strong focus on their printmaking initiatives that she's going to take us through. And it's very exciting. It's very exciting because they'll also have classes for the general community. So that's something to look forward to. In the afternoon, after my conversation with Jing, what happened is I'm so lonely here in Negros, I had to reach out. And I reached out to other art groups in the Visayas. So I had workshops with Rojas City, Dumaguete, and Bohol. And it turned out we are all going to continue printmaking now and into the future, workshops, discussions, play dates. So I hope you will also attend that because we had so much fun and we were hoping that it might be something to share with other groups and other islands. Then we follow with a study on Saturday, 3 very informative presentations with a scholarly review of printmaking through a colonial time. And that is a study of graphic art in Manila, 1604 to 1815, with Carla Gamalinda. After that, there's going to be 3 that day. That's a busy day. We'll have a talk with Dawn Justiniani Atienza of Tinao Management Gallery, and with two printmakers, Henrielle Pagkaliwangan and yours truly. Why not printmaking? Why can how can a galleries and printmakers get together to develop an appreciation of prints and works on paper? So that's going to be questions back and forth from Tin Au's own observations and from Henrielle and myself saying, you know, how do we get into shows, or is it very important to do that? The last presentation that afternoon, it's a personal memorial tribute to Ramon Hofilenya of Silay in Negros. And not too many people may know of him. He's a cultural icon, and he started a printmaking workshop in the 70s. The 70s might have been the first printmaking workshop outside of Manila. And he had many visitors, including Manuel Rodriguez, come to visit him. And his collection is wonderful. He passed away earlier this year, but there's something about Ramon Hofilenya, the cultural icon, that I hope you learn more about and come visit and see the Family Heritage Museum, the Hofilenya Museum. Um, Lastly, on Sunday, we have pressing matters, printmaking and activism from the perspective of Pandy. Pandy, you're going to be able to tell us so much about this. You were starting to tell us, and it was like, it's going to be very exciting because I think it's going to help answer some of the questions I had about what happened, like a gap in printmaking. So I think that's going to be a very interesting feature into a kind of like a gray history. And then we have Jose Chong Ardevilla. And I hope that Anton, quickly, can you just say something about Chong?
Just the same. It will be about the importance of printmaking in society. Pero if Sir Pandy is discussing the importance of it within the context of martial law, si Chong naman will be within the context of other cultures and um, other practices. So, pero within printmaking pa din. So, ayun.
Thank you. Thank you. Um, the last talk on Sunday is also a very, very important one because it's an international focus. It's Southeast Asian focus with some very well-known printmakers, and that's Ambi Abanyo, mistress of woodcut printing, relief printing here in the Philippines, in conversation with Juhari Said, master printmaker of Malaysia, and Kitikong Tilakwatanotai, master printmaker from Chiang Mai, Thailand. And that will give us a perspective of something to aspire to when we in the Philippines can develop our own printmaking community more and then join a more international, community of printmakers. So thank you very much to everyone for, signing up for these panels. Go into the Facebook pages of Cartelino, of Fundación Sansol, and for the Association of Pinoy Printmakers, so you can see and sign up for the reminders from Facebook events, and that would connect you with the live stream at that day and date. So I think, I don't know if Ricky is still back. He was running through some technical problems. But, I have to make one note that last talk on Sunday with Ambi and Kitikong and Juhari is hosted by the Ateneo Art Gallery. And it does ask for a Zoom registration because this expanded printmaking is a sequel to the first expanded printmaking presentation they made at Art Fair Philippines earlier, I think this year. And that, if you can catch it on their YouTube channel for the Ateneo Art Gallery, you have to see it. It was also outstanding. So it's so good that we have the chance to see it part two. So I think that's about it. We have run into our time. I won't be able to ask any questions unless there's something from the community that I'd like them to ask first before I go back. Um, and I'd like to know if there's any last tips or advice for printmakers. From Angelo, how about you? What would you like printmakers to leave behind for us? Unmute. Unmute.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So I just hope we would have more opportunities for engagements in the future, and I think we need to maximize really our social media platforms as of now because of the pandemic. Sir Pandy has a lot of videos online. Maybe we can do more videos in Filipino to cater more of the Filipino public. I guess we also need more Filipino content creators who can speak perhaps in Filipino or in their dialects to make the process more relatable to a lot of people and to inspire more printmakers in the future. So hopefully we can do more collaborations online for now. And later on, maybe face-to-face workshops when this pandemic is over. So
Thank
thank you,
you.
Angela. Yeah.
Thank you, Jello. Elmer, how about uh, tips for us printmakers?
Um, well, I'd just like to reach out to other printmakers that this is a small printmaking community, but the the master printmakers are so generous with their knowledge. So even if it's all we do is to converse online, no, it's just so easy to ask and reach out to the practitioners to ask for alternative tips, no, techniques, and also to ask for sources, where to get materials. So and hopefully we can all gather and interact.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. We will. I'm sure we will because it's now we're being invited, to do that. So might as well accept the invitation. And Pandy, good words from you. Go ahead.
Okay. Let me just remind everybody that it was not a painting, it was not a sculpture that uh, said that where we are is ours. It was a print by Morillo, but it was an engraving. It was what they presented in the international court. It was not a painting, it was not a sculpture, but a print, an engraving that described our place as our own. So it's a good thought, that it was a print. And we have to know, everybody has to know what a print is because we will be talking about this thing that described our real estate. Yun lang.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a start. It's just a
Yeah,
start. We're like
yeah. That's
we're
why it's
starting.
important. That's
Yeah.
why print is important because it's the one that said that this land is our land. Yun.
Don't forget that map,
Yeah,
the islands.
yeah, and
So
the
yeah,
engraver,
yeah. Did it by hand. Did it by
is
hand.
Nicolas de la Cruz Bagay. Baka kamag-anak ni Phil de la Cruz. Because
Oh,
ang middle name niya, De La Cruz. Phil
oh, De La Cruz.
Nicolas De La Cruz Bagay was his name. And he was one of the early engravers.
Thank you. Thank you. So I just want to say thank you first before we start answering questions from the community. I want to thank the CCP, Ortigas Library, Ayala Foundation, PWU, the Hofilenia Museum, Ateneo Art Gallery, Cartolino, the Association of Pinoy Printmakers, and Fundacion Senso. These are all the beginners and shakers of printmaking version 2 in the Philippines today. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Let's see if we have any comments or questions, because if our time is up, we might be able to just uh, end the day on a high note and then start with going back and taking a look at the website, see what those prints look like. And if you have any questions, anybody out there about those prints, you can start with the 5 of us, 6 of us here right now and ask any questions about the method or the process that was used. So I don't know. I don't think we have any questions, but I do appreciate all the attention and everyone for joining us today. And thank you, Pandy. Thank you, Elmer. Thank you, Angelo,
Thank you.
Anton, and Ricky, wherever you are. So I'm
Okay.
signing off. Be safe out there and keep on printing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.